We invite in all those Shabbat angels to bless us this Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. On behalf of Temple Bethel of South Orange County, for all of our guests here this evening, I'm Rabbi Kavod Weider, and together with my clergy partner, Cantor Natalie Young, we welcome you to our Friday night experience. And we call it Shabbat services. And I think services are appropriate because it's from that Hebrew word avodah, to serve. And sometimes if we take a second to think, what is it that we're serving? When we serve other people or we do service in the community, we're putting ourselves before someone else. And when we engage in spiritual service, in avodah, we're serving that which is greater than us, that which sustains us. We can call it God, we can call it love, we can call it justice, we can call it compassion. But it is that deep, alive force of creation that is present in everything, in everyone. Shabbat is about light. And on the first day of creation, the Torah teaches that God said, "Let there be light," and all there was light from one end to the other. And then the Midrash teaches God hid away the light for the righteous, hid away the light for those moments when we stop and really listen or stop and really look. All through the week, we engage with the world in a superficial way. We're very busy, so we're moving from one thing to another, from one person to another, from one task to another. And a lot of the times, the things that we get caught up with as far as what's important in the moment can dominate our awareness. We could say that it's almost like our thoughts and our mind and our busyness is almost like a filter that is keeping us from being present to the vibrancy, to the energy that is everywhere and in ourselves. And so on Shabbat, our face radiates something else. There's a way that through stopping, through taking a breath, we begin to look deeper. Shabbat's about depth. It's about feeling the depth of our own being, our own inner world, and the depth that surrounds us everywhere. And so what our service is this evening is a way to stop and begin to open up to that which is greater, that which sustains. So join me in a couple of deep breaths to just really let go of the week and to enter into this holy and precious space. One more. And we'll get ready to light our Shabbat lights with a little warm up.
Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say amen. Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. This time I want to invite Marcy Howard to share a reading before our blessing. You're muted.
Yeah. Okay. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope. For Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living. For Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness. For Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Amen. Beautiful. So, something so holy and precious about the lighting of the Shabbat candles. It's like the world goes quiet right before Marcy was to light that. And all of us in all of our spaces here come together as one. The midrash or a popular midrash for why we have two Shabbat candles is that they stand for the two times that Shabbat is mentioned in the Torah as the giving of the Ten Commandments. In Exodus, Shabbat is, we're commanded to Zachor et Yom HaShabbat L'Kadsho, remember Shabbat. So one of the candles is for Zachor, remember. And then later in Deuteronomy, when Moses is recounting the 10 Commandments again, says Shamor et Yom HaShabbat Lekadsho, guard Shabbat. And both of these are the positive and the negative aspects of Shabbat. The positive, what do we step towards? What do we step towards to affirm life, to embody this creation, to step fully into the moment and into our own lives and the beauty of our own lives? And then the negative, what do we have to keep away in order to preserve the space to come through? What are the enemies of the agents of distraction, of superficiality, of pettiness, of all of the things that come into us during the week and that we get caught into, the running of errands? Shamor et Yom HaShabbat Lekadsho, keep a boundary so that we can preserve this holy, holy space. So when we sing Lecha Dodi, this great melody, this great song written by Rabbi Shlomo Alkabetz of the 16th century, mystical Sfat. Rabbi Shlomo Alkabetz was steeped in Kabbalah, in the mystical tradition. And so much of each stanza of Lecha Dodi is reflecting some aspect, the mystical tradition that was taught to him by the Ari. And the first verse takes this midrash. Can we look and see the words on the screen for a moment for Lecha Dodi? The first verse says, Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad. So, Shamor v'zachor, God said these two aspects of Shabbat, the positive and the negative, at once, in one utterance, b'dibur echad. So it was the positive and the negative came out in one expression, two sides of one expression. Bonnie, is there any chance we can see the next slide as I'm sharing? So Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, hishmi'anu el hamyuchad, hishmi'anu, and God caused us to hear el hamyuchad, the one presence of unity, caused us to hear. It was almost like in that moment, this message of Shabbat penetrated deeply. Adonai echad ushmo echad. Adonai echad ushmo echad. God is one and God's name is one. Everything we experience everywhere is an expression of this one source of creation. Shmi anu el hamyuchad, l'shem ultiferet v'litchila. And God's name is for glory, for splendor, and for praise. This awareness of unity, of creation, is what we're tapping into through Shabbat. So, Lecha Dodi.
התעוררי, כי בעורף קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. ושלום עטרת בלה, גם בשיחה ובצהולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
As we transition from Kabbalat Shabbat, the service that is punctuated with Lecha Dodi, and move into the main body of our service, transitioning with Chatzi Kaddish into the Baruch Hu, we just want to acknowledge that there are some of us here today who are feeling the loss of people that we love. And to you, we say, Hamakom Yinachem Etchem. May the Holy One comfort you. And may you feel the connection and the love and the support that is God's presence through our holy community. Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkada v'yitkada shmei Rabba ve'alma divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'yomechon U'chaye decho Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, Ba'agala, U'vizman kariv, Ve'imaru, Amen, Yehi Shmei Rabba mevorach, Le'olamu Ome Omaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, Ve'yishtabach, Ve'yitpa'ar v'yitroma v'yinaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, Shemei dekudesha v'rechu, Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran v'yama, V'imru, Amen. Please stand for the Baruch Hu.
Please be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaro mariv arabim b'chokhmah poteach she'arim. God of creation, who makes the evening fall from light into darkness with the setting of the sun. You unfold the heavens with brilliant moon and stars and wrap our souls with peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaro mariv arabim b'chokhmah poteach she'arim. Baruch atah Adonai Mariv Aravim.
Hold on to your belief in love and know that you are loved by endless love that flows through you to your children and to all beings and forms of life. Trust in the loving presence that waits for your heart to open. You have so much. Release old demands and preconceived ideas of what you need. Don't allow expectations to blind you to the gifts in your life right now. You don't need to roll a rock up the hill or across the Jordan. Know that you have love in your life and come home to your heart. Baruch atah Adonai Ohav Emo Yisrael.
Amen. Amen. We're going to get ready to enter into our Shema prayer. And we know that it starts Shema Yisrael. Listen, Israel, listen. And Israel, we know that's talking about us. It's an injunction for us to listen, to pay attention. Am Yisrael, the people Israel. But what some of us may know is that the name Yisrael that was given to Jacob when he wrestled with the angel means just that, one who wrestles with El, with God. So the very nature of what it means to be a Jew, what it means to be part of the people Israel, Yisrael means to be one who wrestles with God. And that means that life is not simple. There's not a dogma that we subscribe to, but life is full of complication and contradiction and paradox. And so much of the time also, we struggle with the things that we want to see happen in our lives, that happen in the world. And in this moment, the Shema is asking us, listen, those of you who are struggling. Adonai Echad. The Holy One is one. There is a unity that is the deepest truth that shines through all of the struggle. There is an aliveness, there is a source, there is something that is a rock that we can find shelter, security, comfort, and connection in. The reality that we are never alone. Listen when we're struggling to find that one true point. I invite us, whether you choose to stand or sit according to your custom for the Shema, to just reach for that place of unity, of truth, of oneness. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. And now we take that oneness, that experience of listening, and channel it out into how we want to express that oneness, that unity, and that is through love. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'otecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'hisharecha Leman tizkaruhu va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet. So right from the place of the Shema, we move into the Micha Mocha prayer. And the Micha Mocha is really just a piece from the song that the Israelites sang at the shores of the Red Sea. Our Torah portion for this week, Parshat Beshalach, we'll be hearing tomorrow morning at our Kol Isha service, a chanting of Shirat Hayam, of the sea. And in that song, after the Israelites have witnessed this incredible miracle of the sea splitting and the Egyptians being drowned, they sing Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai, who is like you, infinite one. And who are they saying? Why are they saying who is like you, God? I mean, it's amazing to see the miracle of the sea. But there's a midrash that every Israelite had an Egyptian taskmaster that stayed over him or her, that was what kept them in bondage. And every day that they would have to go to work to build the pyramids, they would face the fear. They would face the fear of that taskmaster. And in the moment of the sea splitting, in the moment of that song, they saw their particular taskmaster dead in the shore. And they realized that they never had to be afraid anymore. They never had to be afraid anymore. Who is like you? Mi chamocha. Who is like you, God? You are the deeper reality. You are the reason why I never have to be afraid.
Adonai, mi כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות, אוסף פלא, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Ufros aleinu sukan, sukan, shelomecha. Ufros aleinu sukan, sukan, shelomecha. Yadai, dai, dai, yadai, lai, lai, yalai, lai, 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 yalai, lai, lai, yalai, lai, lai, yalai, lai, 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 lai. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'porei sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim.
Amen.
ושמרו לישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם, ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת, שבת וינפש.
We now get to hear some words of Torah from Cantor Natalie Young.
We read this Shabbat about how for the first time since their departure from Egypt, the Israelites come together. And what do? They sing. And so we name this Shabbat the Shabbat of Songs, Shabbat Shirah. It's said that a unique song flows through all of God's creations. While Hasidism speaks of sparks of light everywhere, the Sifat Emet suggests that there are notes of sacred song everywhere. Each day, each moment has its own song, And this song is as old as the cosmos and as new as this moment's breath. The music that swirls in the wind, whispering its melody to the trees and grasses below, then, as they bend and wave with their own song, the animals come to eat from the grass, and the song is transformed into a new melody. And as the shepherd tends to the flock, she hears her own song inspired by the melodies that arise around her. Rabbi Nehemiah Poland shares that our task is to listen intently, to discover, to recover. When we link the notes of our attention or our attentive listening in melody, then our voice becomes resonant with the song of all creation. Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks taught that the history of the Jewish spirit is written in its songs. The words do not change, but each generation needs its own melodies. Our generation needs new songs so that we too can sing joyously to God as our ancestors did at that moment of transfiguration when they crossed the Red Sea and emerged the other side, free at last. As a young child, my home always seemed to be filled with music. Whoever it was playing the piano, I remember sitting underneath the piano and marveling at the amazing vibrations that came out. And at night, my parents used to sing to me and my brother folk songs, lullabies in French, Hebrew, Yiddish, Hungarian. Sometimes I couldn't tell because of the accents. And there were certain songs that we begged for, and we would keep one eye open, refusing to fall asleep until we heard them. Then there were the road trips, filled with loud sing-alongs, silly rounds, and ridiculous tunes with gibberish words that would inevitably bring us to tearful laughter. And whether profound moments of sadness or joy, deep love or painful loss, my life's most precious moments had a soundtrack that helped frame these moments in memory. Many of us can think of those special songs in our lives that can root us to a moment, bringing back to life those deep emotions that grew out of that experience. In another beautiful teaching from Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, it is said that music is the language of the soul, and that when language aspires to the transcendent and the soul longs to break free of the gravitational pull of the earth, it modulates into song. Jewish tradition helps us connect to the recesses of the soul, where the voice of prayer is lifted through song and chant rather than just spoken word. I have experienced times where words have gotten in the way of being able to adequately express what was locked inside me. But somehow, music gave it wings. Connecting to my breath and to the vibrations of a melody have helped open me up to allow my soul to sing. And through song, a tapestry of sacred moments have been woven together that I can wrap around me like a warm blanket over and over again. I remember as a kid standing under a starry night at camp, coiled into an intimate circle with my friends as we sang through Debbie Friedman's Havdalah. I could feel my heart swell and expand with immense joy and deep connection with my community. And in that moment, there was nowhere else I wanted to be. That same beautiful and timeless melody that had such a profound impact on my Jewish soul when I was growing up has followed me into our early childhood classrooms, where I have the privilege to bring that joy and create those experiences for our little ones. During this year, where we have had to create sanctuaries in our own homes, away from the physical embrace of community, We have managed to gather virtually, lighting up our screens with the glow of our Havdalah candles, our souls unbound and reaching out to one another as we hold on for just a moment more to the sweetness of Shabbat. These moments, like so many others, are held in the sacred container of song. We each have songs that are an integral part of our identity, those personal playlists that we turn to when we want to feel rooted in what feels like home. And when those songs are sung or played by others, we inevitably feel understood and connected. There is nothing more unifying than a community gathered in song where voices across the generations come together as one. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Brene Brown explains that in order to cultivate our belief in our inextricable human connection, we must show up for collective moments of joy and pain so that we can actually bear witness to those connections. Regardless of differences, the power of these collective moments where our hearts and souls are open can transcend that division. I truly believe that music is that force that can bring us together. And being part of a faith community, we know what it is to show up for one another around moments of grief or celebration. We understand what it means to be witness to each other's stories. With love and compassion, we know about the power of gathering in community and leaving our differences at the door so that we can truly be present to hold one another up. I am grateful to the creators of song who not only found their voice through their music, but opened the door for others to find theirs. Like Miriam, who led the women in song and dance after crossing the Sea of Reeds, Debbie Friedman's musical legacy has inspired generations of Jews to find their voice through song. As we prepare ourselves for the Amidah tonight and sing through Adonai Sfatai, I am reminded of my first year of cantorial school, a sun-soaked afternoon on my friend's balcony in Jerusalem, where this melody was born. And tonight, as congregations around the country sing this same melody for Shabbat Shirah, I feel a particular connection and pride to my middle name, Miriam, knowing that when I don't have the words, I will always have the music. May we each be open to the songs that flow through and around us, and may we come together without judgment to take in the songs that flow through others. Shabbat Shalom. I invite you to rise if you are able. Adonai Sfatai. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Teilatecha Ufi Yagid Teilatecha. Adonai Sfatai Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך ופי יגיד תהילתך.
Cantor Young reminded us that some of our most powerful moments of connection happen with music. And we could say that in those moments, the music, the experience, everything about that moment leaves a reshimu, an imprint on our heart, on our soul, and sometimes even can transform us. Memory is so central in our tradition. And what I want to suggest is that memory itself is not about going somewhere else, going somewhere in the past, but it is an active, present, tapping into the reshimu, that original imprint of that moment. So for our silent Amidah, the intention that we want to offer this evening is for you to call to mind a memory that is connected to music. Call to mind a memory that's connected to music that might have impacted you in some way. It could be a concert, it could be a particular song at a time in your life. And as you remember it and recall that, allow yourself to be aware that it is a present moment of connection that you are having through the memory. We'll take just a minute or two of silence. And you feel like you've touched into that memory, into that imprint in your own being. If you'd like, you're welcome to share it in the chat.
הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. 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 יעשה שלום שלום עלינו.
we now have the opportunity to call to mind people in our lives that are in need of healing, physical, mental, emotional, whatever it is, we are connected to them, and their struggle is our struggle. So with our Misha Berach prayer, one of the beautiful verses in it that I think guides us, whether we're going through our own healing journey or being present for others, is help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. Because it really sometimes does take courage to remember, no matter how we're feeling, no matter what's going on, that we have the ability to be a blessing for others. And it means that we choose to show up and we choose to see our light. So I invite you, your people are already putting names in the chat, which is perfect. If you would like to put the name of a loved one, somebody that you're connected to in the chat, we'll bring them into our healing prayer.
Avotenu מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor bracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Amen. Okay, we have some really wonderful stuff coming up in our temple community. Let's see.
I'm going to start with Aleinu, Rabbi Kavod.
Oh, okay. Please stand for Aleinu. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gidula liotzer vreshit, shelo asanu kagoya haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kecho hamonam, vanachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, Ushemo echad. So you won't want to miss. Tomorrow, it is finally here, Kol Isha Shabbat service. Wendy, is there anything you want to say about tomorrow? Please, you have the floor.
We will have a full chapel. Get there early for your seat. You won't want to miss it. And almost every seat will be taken, so be sure to get there nice and early. And if you haven't registered yet, I put the link in the chat. And I'm so excited. Most of you I see on the screen will be there, and I'm delighted. See you tomorrow.
Beautiful.
Thanks,
Thank you, Wendy.
We look forward to it. I am so excited for tomorrow night. I, along with a group of cantorial colleagues, will be doing a special Havdalah and Malave Malka concert tomorrow evening. It's us with our kids. So Gabriel will be joining me for a special song. Neshama will be there with her boys. This is just another way to continue with song and community, and I hope that you'll be able to join us. This is posted on our Facebook page for anyone who needs that information. Again, feel free to reach out. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Beautiful. We are also getting ready for our Can We Talk 3-session program, which is really moving in the direction that we hope to move as a synagogue, as a country, to be able to get actually closer to each other through the things that we disagree on. And this year I've been working with a national organization called Resetting the Table, who does this nationally. And we really hope that you'll sign up and register and be able to be part of this. You do have to pre-register, and we ask that you be at all 3 of the sessions. Thank you. Brad Shapiro, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. From the words of Laura Gilpin, these are the things I know, how the living go on living and how the dead go on living with them. So that in a forest, even a dead tree casts a shadow, and the leaves fall one by one, and the branches break in the wind, and the bark peels off slowly, and the trunk cracks, and the trunk falls to the ground, and the moss covers it. And in the spring, the rabbits find it and build their nests inside the dead tree, so that nothing is wasted in nature or in love.
Nothing is wasted in nature or in love. We now remember our loved ones for a blessing. In our Shloshim period, 30 days, we're remembering Melvin Engelman, father of our member Susie Engelman, Rosalind Fells, mother of our member Stuart Fells, Stephen Anshel, brother of our member Helen Lawrence, Lou Einbund, father and member and father of Karen Gray, and Shirley Premack Banks, the mother of our member Karen Chernin. We're also commemorating the following yahrzeits: Charles Dartort, Jacob Fenkel, Fanny Fried, Debbie Friedman, Eli Gecht, Jonathan Glyer, Herman Goldberg, Mr. Irving Goodman, Irving Grouse, Bonnie Hagmeyer, Philip Hyman, Sonia Leah Joseph, Anna Kirshner, Judy Liebson, Sarah Morkey, Frida Noble, Miriam Bersansky Pardes, Josephine Perlman, George Rappaport, Irvin Reichs, Benjamin Robinson, Joseph Rubenstein, Danny Sachs, Sidney Schechter, Joseph Seidman, Harry Teitelbaum, Avram Weinberg, Jerome Westerman, and Sally Westerman. If there's anybody else that you're saying Kaddish for, please go ahead and put their names in the chat. And you may stand or sit according to your custom for Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, v'almad zivrach Yeruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayei chon u'vyomei chon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei dekudesha brechu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing.
blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. May we be sheltered by the wings of peace. May we be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. Amen. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing.
Okay, wishing everybody such a beautiful, wonderful Shabbat, restful, rejuvenating, tapping into what is real and true, where we get to bless together over wine or juice with Kiddush. Please join me, and right when I finish, Lainey, you can help lead us in the Hamotzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Bore pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit. Ki hu yom techilah lemikra kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
L'chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Amen. V'te'avon.